Hello, excuse me. Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast between Mondragon and Empire Kaz here in the Xel'Naga Caverns Game 3 in this series so far. We have Mondragon spawning as the blue Zerg this time, so they decided to switch up their colors. I have updated this accordingly to make sure that I kept track of the colors. Meanwhile, we have Empire Kaz spawning as the red Terran. So this will be Terran versus Zerg here in the Xel'Naga Caverns. I'm casting a Terran versus Zerg just so I can see what exactly the Terran players do. Empire Kaz, it looks like his main strategy against Zerg is just to keep up to not one base play, but set up a decent amount of defense and then branch out in order to do a very fast expansion, and then that way keeping up with the Zerg natural expansion, which most Zergs do like to run off of two base plays. So by getting up that expansion down over here on that low ground, able to get off a lot of harvesters, as double command centers mean that you also obviously have two mules and you also have many more SCVs to train off of, allowing you to keep up with that production rate. Empire Kaz now getting another barracks down over here as well, is going to finish off the wall off with another supply depot there. I'm surprised that he didn't opt to go for a low ground expansion. You can put a supply depot right here and then a barracks right here. And what that does is it prevents any units from being able to walk up that ramp. And I believe that this one drone should be able to actually get inside this base and get a lot of sight. But Empire Kaz not going for the same build that he went in the previous two games. So Empire Kaz now getting a refinery. This is more of a traditional style of Terran play. And now this SCV is taking some damage. Before, SCVs did have 60 hit points, so it was a little bit easier to keep your SCV alive. Now, no longer the case, as SCVs were also acting as meat shields in one-on-one combat, which turned out to be almost broken, if you guys remember, during the early beta. Instead, now we see that there is going to be a supply depot being finished down over here. Is that drone going to try to gun for that SCV? That is going to be the question. It looks like no, he's just going to grow up to be a hatchery and do that annoying gas denial that so many Zerg players do like to do. So one Marine now making its way down over here, just is going to start shooting at it, and it will be a loss of about 75 minerals in total for Mondragon. Mondragon knew that he was going to lose the extractor anyways, or lose that drone anyway, so just wanted to try to delay that gas. And now you can see that drone coming off for just a split second and then growing up to be an extractor once again. You don't lose that many minerals as a Zerg player just because the extractor only costs 25 minerals plus the drone itself. Back over here, we now see a hatchery currently being placed down. We already have an extractor up, so Mondragon should have that metabolic boost in time. It does take about, I believe, 4 Marines in order to actually shoot down an extractor before it is able to regenerate that many hit points. We can see a tech lab now going in, and now this is going to be a mass barracks play. So this is definitely one base play, as he is also getting into a reactor. So this may be tech lab, reactor, and trying to train up a lot of Marines and Marauders, or maybe tech lab. Both are very viable options. He may try to get that combat shield as well, and after getting that tech lab down in just a second, we'll see what it is. No, it's another reactor. So it is going to be a Marauder, Marine. And that's going to be a very, very large army of units. Marines making sure that there are no overlords inside his base, trying to shoo them away. One Marauder back over here. And right now, I like this play by Kaz. Kaz going for Marauders and Marines. Very, very important, just in case your opponent does try to baneling bust you, that you have Marauders to try to absorb some of that damage. As you saw in, I believe, Game 1 on Metalopolis, the Marauder was purposely dropped down in order to soak up the damage from 2 to 3 banelings, and that was actually a very, very strong trade, as banelings cost more than Marauders once you get into that exchange level rate, and that Marauder was the only unit there not taking that much splash damage. Production wise, you can see 4 Marines and 1 Marauder being trained, Stim Pack being trained up as well. So this is going to be a very large army of Marines. Zergians now making the trek all the way to the south side of the map. Mondragon also getting some natural defense at his natural expansion. Harvester count, the Zerg player does have a little bit of an advantage, 28 compared to 25, and I believe Mondragon should be able to continue, as long as he power drones and keeps on top of his macro and his drone production, he will have a very strong economy. Currently sitting on 4 larvae here and some more larvae here. Not exactly sure what Mondragon is waiting for. He wants to see if the Marines and the Marauders are going to make a trek out, and they are making a trek out with some SCVs as well. So now quickly queuing up 14 Zerglings. Very, very nice. So it's going to be an SCV Marine Marauder battle, and will enough damage be dealt is the key question. Stim Pack already researched as well. Spine Crawlers in position. Mondragon getting queens on that low ground and trying to queue up more and more larvae as well. It doesn't look like there is enough for a transfusion just quite yet, and those SCVs a little bit too gung-ho, already moving out forward and now dealing some damage. Zergling's going to come in, Queen now coming in as well. Marines and Marauders using that Stim Pack. Down goes one of those Spine Crawlers, another Spine Crawler get taken down as well. Baneling's now trying to be hatched as well. Marauders and Marines are trying to fight back. One Queen is in position, and these Banelings are going to be absolutely critical. Another Spawn Larva now coming in. Down it goes. Are those Banelings going to get some damage in? Oh, beautiful. I gotta rewind that. Oh, all right. So you can see that one Baneling right there. I'm just gonna watch that Baneling right there. That Baneling right there just detonating and melting that large group of Marines. And wow, the sheer number of losses. Empire Kaz just laughing at the situation, realizing that he could have had the game within his grasp, but after losing that many Marines to one Baneling, that was the hero Baneling. Obviously, it cannot accept an award as it's dead. But yeah, the hero Baneling taking down, I believe, about 10 Marines. Zerglings now once again on the move, able to catch a lot of those Marines in transition. And now Kaz definitely has to fight back in order to get back into this game. 20 SCVs compared to 26. Also, you can see the harvester count difference. Mondragon getting more minerals and more gas. Just because he has 8 additional harvesters and mining off of more mineral patches as well. So Mondragon very, very comfortable at this stage in the game. Empire Kaz needs to now transition. It looks as though he's going to transition into factories with reactors and now go for a lot of Hellions. Those Hellions are going to be able to deal a lot of damage. The problem is that they're not going to be able to get that blue flame research, as you cannot research anything off of a reactor. Blue flame research is very, very important, especially against Zerglings, allowing Hellions to two-shot both drones and Zerglings, and then just increasing their efficiency significantly. There are a bunch of barracks over here not producing anything at all. Empire Kaz is in a little bit of a safe situation so far, getting another factory down now, and now upgrading to an orbital command. Production-wise, still needs to train up more SCVs. Zerglings once again trying to test the waters, not going to be able to get that much damage in at all either, as now Hellions are being trained. No starport, no medevacs now being trained, so it's not going to be a drop of any sort. We do see one Overlord off on the side of the base, and now one Zergling on that low ground. And now Mondragon knows that he simply just needs to take up another expansion. He probably knows that Empire Kaz does have an orbital command up on that high ground as well, trying to train up more SCVs, trying to get decent saturation up on that high ground before he lifts off and reestablishes an expansion on that low ground. The Zergling may be able to actually catch sight of it, and looks like, oh, the shadow should be there, finally seeing that orbital command. The orbital command is now in the air, and now being very careful to only use those Marines to catch in order to shoot down that Zergling, and now moving away, or should be moving out with those SCVs in just a second. More Hellions still being trained, so this is a mass Hellion. What, 4 Hellions being queued up at a time? That is a lot of Hellions, and that is going to be a lot of damage that they can deal. Army-wise, we can see that Empire Kaz at 1,300 compared to 725, and 12 Hellions against 19 Zerglings. But there are Banelings as well, and those Banelings can deal a lot of damage towards Hellions as well. So this is going to be a little bit of an issue. One Queen going to try to fight back against an army of Hellions, and this is going to be a problem, especially without any Roach Warrens. And oh, that one poor Queen just simply getting torched so easily. Another Zergling going to get torched as well. And things are not looking good at all. The movement speed upgrade has not been finished yet. Those Banelings are not going to be able to catch up. Zergling's now trying to catch up in front of those Hellions. Hellions getting a lot of damage. Those Banelings not able to catch up at all. Finally able to splash up against a couple of those Hellions. And now are those Banelings going to be able to roll on out? Now trying to run back in, unable to get any damage. And now those Hellions with that really, really long range of attack, able to catch those Banelings before they were finished. We now see a Spire currently coming into play as well. So that Spire means that all of these Hellions are not going to be able to stick around for very much longer as Hellions. Oh, Blue Flame Hellions now coming in, and they're going to get a lot of drone kills in just a second. Now trying to pull away the Hellions, and now Banelings do have that movement speed upgrade, but the movement speed upgrade still not enough, and those Banelings simply just burrowing instead. However, if they burrowed right there, that would have been absolutely perfect. Is it going to work? Oh, Banelings trying to splash against those units there. If they had burrowed right there, that would have been absolutely perfect. Getting a ton of Hellion kills, or a ton of Hellion damage at least. More scanner sweeps in, revealing many of these creep tumors, making sure that those Hellions are not being forced to fight on top of creep. And now Empire Kaz, now not relenting in his SCV production, you're getting a very, very strong harvester count. So 39 harvesters and 18 Hellions, so just mass Hellions dealing so much damage, not any gas in this army at all. But now with those Mutalisks in the air, and with 9 Mutalisks in the air, those Hellions are going to be on the run. Hellions do outrun Mutalisks though. I believe 3.75 versus 4.25, so a slight difference there. And now the Hellions coming back in, may be able to catch another drone. Yeah, that drone once again caught out of position, but now the Mutalisks are in play, and those Mutalisks are going to be able to deal a lot of damage. Drones need to run away though, as those Zerglings are now just running in front of those Hellions. Hellions having a very difficult time, needing to try to run back around. Are they going to be able to get up onto that high ground? Yes, Hellions now running up into that high ground, getting a lot of damage in. The Queen is now trying to fight back against a large number of those units. Mutalisks able to just pick off there, and very nicely done using the scanner sweep in order to reveal all the burrowed drones. And the burrowed drones have been cleaned, many of them were cleaned up. And taking a look at the losses now, Empire Kaz and Mondragon about 500 resource difference in terms of losses, but with the sheer number of Mutalisks in play, Mondragon has a much stronger army. We now see a Thor down here with a couple Marines. Missile turrets are being placed down as well. No level 1 weapons upgrade, but double training Thors. So 2 Thors will be trained up at the same time. And now this is going to be very, very difficult, especially as those Mutalisks are in the air. Gosu Terran leaving the game. And yeah, now we have those Mutalisks running straight into the mineral line and going to get a lot of damage across SCVs there, getting just hitting multiple of those units and now getting more kills across more of those SCVs. Out comes a Thor. Out comes 2 Thors, and 2 Thors getting 2 rounds of Javelin missiles straight into the backs of those Mutalisks, and those Mutalisks being forced to pull back once again. Army-wise, very, very even. Harvester-wise, also about even as well. The Terran player having a slight advantage, not by much at all. Marines are down over here, and now Mondragon does know that Kaz is only running off of 2 bases, so he's not all too concerned at this stage in the game, as he is now trying to set up his 3rd base as well. These destructible rocks still need to get taken down, but this expansion is very difficult for a Zerg player to expand into, unlike a Terran or a Protoss player. Protoss player just needs 1 pylon, can deploy 8 gateways worth of units there very, very easily. A Thor now moving out. Those Thors, 5 Thors on the move production-wise, getting armor upgrades. So vehicle plating upgrades are going to be able to keep these Thors alive for very, very long, and now going straight after that hatchery. That hatchery taking some damage, doesn't have to worry about the blue flame all too much, as I do not believe there's one building that is actually a light armor. Baneling's now simply going to roll in, and now that hatchery will get sniped down. Mutalisks trying to come in. They are getting magic box. Baneling's trying to splash down, killing off all of those Hellions there, and now the Mutalisks trying to finish off the rest of these Thors. The Thors are taking a lot of damage. They do not have that armor upgrade, but there are still 3 Thors now, 2 Thors now. The Zerglings are going to be able to finish off the rest of that, and now Kaz pretty much doesn't have that much of an army left, and that hatchery able to survive with 93 hit points. The losses for Mondragon are slightly higher than Empire Kaz still, and now the economy is about the same so far. Baneling still being trained up, and Kaz not relenting in his production. Now training 3 Thors at a time. I didn't even think 3 Thor production was possible off of 2 bases, as you don't normally have enough gas. Perhaps he queued up a lot of gas, and now that's the reason why he's able to just build up so many Thors at the same time. 2 Thors already in play, the level 1 armor upgrade about to be completed, but we are now going into the pathogen glands, infestors, and perhaps neural parasite. We are getting some banelings as well. No neuroparasite just quite yet. Banelings now trying to run in or roll in, unable to get any damage in there, and now this hatchery is going to get sniped down very, very easily. It is now down. Banelings now just simply going to try to surround, and now SCVs. Oh, SCVs need to be careful about those banelings, but the banelings now just detonating on top of those stores, the Hellions instead, and now SCVs mass repairing these 1 or 0-1 Thors. Those Thors have decent armor now, and now once again triple training more and more Thors. We need to see roach production and the pathogen and neuroparasite being researched. Otherwise, those infestors and those Zerglings are not going to be able to deal enough damage. Roaches are generally a stronger counter just because they deal more damage and they have decent range as well, especially when there are SCVs repairing so many of those Thors. 5 Thors, 6 Thors now on the move once again. Empire Kaz ready to take up his 3rd base. It will take a little bit of time for this creep to recede, and Empire Kaz just in a very dominant position once again. Neuroparasite needing about another minute or so. More infestors now being trained up as well, so we should be seeing a lot of fungal growth. Roaches are finally joining in on the fight. Roaches already have that movement speed upgrade, no tunneling claws, but do have burrow, so they will be able to regenerate their hit points much more easily as well. Banelings are upgraded 1-1, splash damage significant as well. We can see more just Thors just wandering around, a very large and very slow moving Thor army. And I'm kind of surprised that the SCVs are not repairing each other. They are not on auto repair, so that's why one of those SCVs is only at 3 life and still not getting repaired. Back over here, Roaches and Zerglings finishing off these destructible rocks. No additional upgrades. I'm surprised that the Zerglings are not getting the additional claw upgrades, as the claw upgrades are very important in order to get through that thick Terran plating. More scanner sweeps quickly revealing absolutely nothing. No creep tumors, allowing Kaz to finally establish this command center in just a second. Wait for it. He needs to land. There's still a little bit of creep right there. Back over here, we had, one Hellion try to deal some damage over here. It was able to take down a couple drones, and now taking a look at the harvester count, 50 drones compared to 60. 3 more mules now being quickly called down into the high yield mineral location here. So Kaz is all of a sudden going to get a very large influx of economy. There you go, 1,800 a minute, almost 2,000 a minute, just because of those mules. Those mules essentially able to offer him about, if my calculations are right, about 800 minerals every minute. And that is just a very strong economy right there. SCV is now making their trek down over here. There are infestors in play. Those infestors want to deal that damage, and those Thors are going to have a very bad day, as would you kindly kill your brother about to come into play. Roach is now coming in, infestors now coming in, and here we go. There's the neuroparasite. 2 fourth, 5 Thors are now on neuroparasite, sniping each other down, and that is a lot of damage to be had. Thors are now just shooting at each other as they realize the timer is about to be done. Mondragon losing some of that. Another round of neuroparasite needs to get called off. What is Mondragon doing? Not quite sure. He could just call down another round of that neuroparasite, deciding not to. But wow, what a change in army. 1725 compared to 800. Beautifully played by Mondragon with that current group of units there. We also see a planetary fortress here. That planetary fortress does deal a lot of damage towards Zerglings. Infestors now on the move. The Infestors could get a lot of damage, perhaps not even trying to take down any of the missile turrets. Production-wise, I don't see any additional units there. Hellions quickly getting caught out of position, and down it goes. Infestors need the neuroparasite. Siege tanks in position, and now siege tanks, and now fungal growths hitting a lot of these units once again. Siege, and now just great neuroparasite usage by Mondragon. This one Thor, however, being brought back in order to kill some of those other units, and now trying to deal more damage. Zerglings now swarming in once again. Siege tanks up on that high ground are going to start blasting away at those infestors on the low ground. The infestors are going to take some damage, need to pull away. One Zergling, or Zerglings now taking down that one infestor, or that one Thor, before the timer releases. More infestors now coming in. Roaches now barreling through once again. Are we going to get any fungal growths off is a key question. There's another fungal growth. Infestors now trying to pull away. Roaches dealing more damage. And now I think Infestors, if they get off fungal growths on this group of SCVs, those SCVs would just simply just melt apart, and a lot of damage could be dealt. and SCVs now joining in on the fight. Where are those infested Terrans? Not quite sure what Mondragon is doing here. He could be dropping in some infested Terrans in order to try to push back against this attack, and now getting some infested Terrans here now, but that's where you should actually have tried to use your fungal growth instead. No, the Roach is now going to start sniping down over here. SCVs are now trying to repair that one planetary fortress, and I believe none of those infested Terrans are going to be able to deal any damage there significantly. So yeah, Mondragon was really smart with those infestors, but he didn't carry them carry them through. Production wise, we now see drones being trained, queens now being replaced as well. We need to see more larvae coming in. Currently only has 8 larvae between his 4 hatcheries. That is not that much at all. And now his army is once again even compared to Empire Kaz. Empire Kaz is now running out with a lot of siege tanks. Those siege tanks deal additional damage towards armored units, and I believe the Infestor is the only spellcaster that is actually armored. So it does take additional damage. No, sorry, only ground spellcaster that is armored. So it does take additional damage from those siege tanks and from marauders. 2 Mutalisks in the air. Those banelings could be able to get some more damage in, and now infestors can burrow and then move while burrowed, spawn infested Terrans here and deal that damage. Infestors now perhaps going to get a fungal growth off. Banelings and roaches need to move in very carefully, and otherwise he's going to lose this hatchery. He cannot afford to lose this hatchery at all. Drones now hiding over here on that high ground. And now army-wise, 3,500 against 3,925 Mutalisks, going to try to test and try to take down some of those marauders. However, able to pull back in time. There are a couple Marines in that group, as well as we are now doing some long-distance mining. And Mondragon doing the walk of shame, trying to get a very strong economy. Empire Kaz also going to be doing some long-distance mining in just a second, as the siege tanks now moving down to that low ground. Mutalisks are in the air, infestors are, and roaches now moving out as well. Banelings moving out, and a straight run into the main base and the main mining base of Mondragon, and this is going to be an issue. Perhaps a hatchery needs to be placed down here, but there's not enough minerals just quite yet. The Mutalisks are now going to try to come in, perhaps try to get some damage across those marauders. There are no more Marines. Marines now engaging back over here, and now these Mutalisks should be able to get some damage on top of those siege tanks. And wow, the siege tanks were sieged up in a very nice position, dealing a lot of damage. I'm not sure why these roaches are not burrowed. They are not being used effectively right now, as we are now getting a lot of infestors in play. Those infestors need to get some infested Terrans into play, or perhaps use that burrow move. There we go, finally getting a burrow move in order to keep track of this army. So the Infestor now making its way over. Perhaps it will be able to get some damage over here. We can see that there are, what, 4 Infestors in the ready, banelings in the ready as well. Drones still doing more long distance mining. It is very bad economy, as those Hellions now going to walk up that ramp, quickly see that there is nothing there, but that is going to be a little bit of an issue. One Zerg now trying to take down this command center. The Hellions didn't see the drones, now trying to run away, and now in comes a swarm of roaches. Roaches are going to be able to snipe down this one Thor, and this Thor going to get caught out of position. Hellions coming in to join in on the fight as well. Down goes the Thor. Roach is now trying to run away. Roaches perhaps could just burrow, and now in come those Infestors. Infestors going to get some fungal growth there, and now stopping this battle in its tracks. Those Infestors need to pull away once again, perhaps burrowing, and now banelings need to roll on in. Siege tanks in position, Mutalisks in the air as well. Army-wise, 5,600. The Terran army just so strong right now, doubling in size and just being almost everywhere at once. Empire Kaz having 1 or 0-1 upgraded units there. The Marines are upgraded 1-0. Infested Terrans just starting to just splash those splash damage on top of all of those siege tanks, and that is going to be an issue. Finally, one scanner streak revealing one infested Terran, but I believe that the sheer amount of damage that infested Terran did was very effective. Mutalisks could be coming back in once again. We do see more infested Terrans over here. Sorry, Infestors with those banelings once again on the move. Drones now just hiding off over here, and now I do not believe there's any economy at all for Mondragon, and without an economy, without any way to replenish any of his forces, I believe he's going to just end up slowly starving himself out of units. We now see Mutalisks in the air. The Mutalisks are, however, not going to engage in this location. Oh, going to engage in time, and now those Mutalisks are going to be able to finish off many of those SCVs before those missile turrets are completed. I believe that missile turret may get shot down. That missile turret is about to be done, and now it is done. The Mutalisks in the air trying to finish off that one missile turret, and I believe with so many SCVs repairing it, it was able to fend off the attack, and now going after another missile turret there. I believe that missile turret is just going to get canceled, and now the Mutalisk is just trying to go after more and more SCVs. The Marines unable to get underneath those groups of units, now finally running away back onto that high ground. We can see one Marauder up on that high ground, keeping track of that expansion. Mondragon does see that one Marauder there. More long distance mining coming in here, and taking a look at the harvester count. What a very minimal minerals for Mondragon so far at this stage in the game, and the sheer army size 5,800 Hellions and siege tanks just constantly on the move. SCV should probably be just joining in on this fight to try to do some more repairing. Infestors need to get more neural parasites off in order to try to snipe back some of these Thors once again, but I don't think that Kaz is going to fall prey to that once again, as there's such a large army of Marines and Thors, Thors and Hellions in the front of those siege tanks. And we do currently see one Infestor, quickly scanner sweeping, revealing that burrowed ability as it was trying to move along that north side. A command center, Empire Kaz lifting off his main base into the natural expansion here, and I believe that is going to be GG in just a moment. Hellions once again just dealing a lot of damage, being everywhere at once, and it looks as though Empire Kaz, who had such a dominating early Marine force only to be stopped by one baneling, was able to battle his way through, battle his way back, and get back into this game. I believe the GG should be coming. Yeah, there's not much. Mondragon doesn't have an economy, doesn't have any minerals, and there's the GG. Thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 replay between Mondragon and Empire Kaz here in the Xel'Naga Caverns.